The second phase, or the second step in this case, is marketing communications. And when you get this information from talking to your buyers, talking to your prospects, the serious prospects, what do you do with that information? You use it to develop a coordinated marketing campaign that helps to build your brand or reinforce your brand so that you can move forward with a very coordinated message and show your prospects how you distinguish yourself from your competition. And the third step is sales training. Sales training is absolutely critical. I recommend that everyone in a company, regardless of the position of the company, goes through some type of sales training at least once a year. You have to view every person in your company as a potential salesperson. If they're at a cocktail party, if they're at a soccer game, they said, you know, who do you work for, what do you do? That person has got to be able to clearly illustrate and define what your company does and what makes your company unique or better. You know, obviously you should have ongoing sales training on a regular basis for your sales team, but please include everyone. I suggest this, we do it with our clients, that they have all of their salespeople come in so they hear a coordinated message about the sales training. Very, very important. The fourth step is tracking and evaluation. And you know, Ed showed you a few minutes ago Google Analytics. If anyone in this room has a website and they're not using a program like Google Analytics or Google Analytics themselves, you are clearly missing the boat. And what I want to emphasize to you this morning are some ideas. There are some creative ideas, but to get across the point that regardless of how large or small your marketing budget is, you have to be sure that you're tracking this properly. You know, Jay said the old adage about, you know, you're not sure which 50% of your advertising is working. Now you have that opportunity, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the future. So in the first step, once again, it's really understanding and getting this base of information together about your customers. The understanding your customers, you know, why do they buy in your community? You know, it's great to send out surveys, but what I strongly recommend is you sit down and you have either formal or informal focus groups. Market research, I mean, obviously if you have the budget and you can afford it, I strongly suggest you hire a professional market research specialist, and ideally one who's experienced in the housing industry. If for some reason you don't have that budget, what I encourage people in my workshops is to talk, if you're in a college town or a university town, chances are they're going to have some kind of a market research program. If they have a graduate program in a business school, they're looking for projects. Sit down with the head of a department and say, you know, I have this study that I want to conduct. Can your students help me conduct this? It's a great way to get either free or very, very low cost, maybe just for the materials, market research done. When you have this information, then you want to say, okay, what were the three factors? And 3 is an arbitrary number. But what were the 3 factors that influenced their buying decision? And try and get them to prioritize that. And you should be using some of this information as you develop your marketing materials. What other communities did they consider? You know, you might think that you know who your competition is, but unless you actually talk to the consumers, and you can talk to them, you know, within 30 days, for example, after they bought, hopefully you have a very strong, positive relationship with your buyers. And you get them to describe what they liked or didn't like about your competition, which will help you to fine-tune not only your marketing, but also your sales presentations. What keywords or phrases describe your community? This is something I strongly advocate and suggest, in that people will basically tell you, within reason, what you can use, what keywords or phrases you can use in your marketing campaigns, in your sales presentations, in your information centers. In fact, John and I, I'll get to it a little later, but we're doing a project up in Cape Cod in Boston, and we're using the keywords and phrases that we got from a mail survey that we sent out to 500 homeowners that had already moved into this community. And we said, what words or phrases would you use to describe it? And we tallied them all up, and we said, okay, we took the top 10 or 12 keywords or phrases, and we're literally doing a wall with these words on it. So as a salesperson goes through the new information center, they can point to that, and they can tell the prospective buyer, you know, you might be interested in why these words are up there. These are actually the words from the homeowners who have bought in our community, what they like about living in this particular community. So use that information. Sometimes your best advertising copy can come from your buyers.